Alright, it's time for me to get rid of the hardware I recently bought. And with getting rid of it, I mean selling it. Today, in fact, I have a bunch of graphics cards up for sale. Many of you know by now how things go, but for those of you that are new to my channel, here's a quick summary. The majority of hardware such as CPUs, graphics cards, motherboards and so on, I pay out of my own pocket. There's no manufacturer or anyone else supporting me with that. Meaning I'm purchasing these components from retailers just like you do too. I test the components for a couple of hours, put everything in its respective packaging again, and sell the hardware to my audience at lowered prices. That way it's pretty much a win-win situation both for me and for you, since I might help you save a bit of money on a product, who knows. But let's not beat around the bush, let's actually get to the products I have up for sale. Let's start with the most powerful and most expensive graphics card on my list. This happens to be the ZOTAC RTX 2080 Super Twin Fan. The RTX 2080 Super is Nvidia's refresh of the regular RTX 2080 that launched last year. Its super successor is quite a bit faster, but still doesn't match an RTX 2080 Ti, so don't get your hopes up too soon, folks. Nevertheless, extremely good performance is being offered. 1440p at maxed out graphics settings is a walk in the park. Even 4K gaming is a possibility. Of course not at highest graphics details at that resolution, obviously. The ZOTAC version also happens to be fairly quiet in operation. If someone's willing to shell out 697 euros for this card, you make me a happy man. But of course not everyone wants to spend this much money on a graphics card. Going down one step in the performance tier, we end up at the RTX 2070 Super, and this is the Jetstream variant by Palit with a really beefy cooler on it. With that, the card runs super duper cool and very quiet too. The RTX 2070 Super sure is an impressive card when it comes to performance. Actually, the same thing can be said here as I did for the 2080 Super. WQHD 1440p is no problem at all, and 4K sure is an option as well. For this slightly thicker than average GPU, I'd like to get 497 euros. And for those of you that simply don't want anything from the high-end segment but want something decent without having to spend too much money, well, I might have something for you too. This GPU comes with a ridiculously long name, that is GIGABYTE RTX 2060 Super WINDFORCE OC8G. This card more or less offers the same kind of performance as a regular RTX 2070 non-Super does. So that's very respectable performance that's being brought to the table here. Actually, I'd probably go as far and say this might be the go-to perfect graphics card if your goal is to game at 1440p. Close to every single game title runs butter smooth with it at highest graphics settings. And if you're ready to sacrifice a bit of graphics detail beauty, you could give 4K gaming a chance too. For 369 euros, this RTX 2060 Super is yours. Oh, by the way, a pretty quiet card too. And now to the final gem, or how I'm calling this one, AMD's secret weapon. We are of course talking of the Radeon RX 5700 in its reference design, however, so with AMD's original cooler on it. With this graphics card, in my opinion, you're much better off than with an RTX 2060. First of all, you're getting it cheaper from me, and on top of that, the card doesn't come with 6 but 8 GB of GDDR6 video memory, so there's nothing standing in the way for full HD 1080p and 1440p gaming. Definitely quite the impressive performance at that price point. If you're installing this graphics card into a case, which you most likely will, it's not even necessarily loud. But just to be on the safe side, I'd suggest increasing the fan speed, or rather adjusting the fan curve a little. That can be done super quickly without the need of additional software. How much do I want for the RX 5700, you ask? Well, I'd be happy to receive 306 euros for it. And that would pretty much be all. Now let's talk about the details regarding the purchase and shipping and so on. First of all, the condition of the products. It's all in mint condition, pretty much brand new. It's just been in use for a couple of hours, that's all. Original packaging and accessories is self-explanatory. Same goes for the invoice. How can you get in touch with me if you're interested in one of the products? The best way would be via email. Just shoot me an email to the address you see on screen, but Facebook messages packaging is an option too. I only ship to countries within Europe, basically within the European Union. So for those of you living outside of Europe, like in the USA, Russia, China or whatever, I unfortunately cannot ship to you. Neither do I want to run into customs issues, nor do I want you to do so. All shipping costs are on me. You pay not a single cent for it. I take care of that. And last but not least, the payment. This is where I'd prefer a standard bank transfer. Some of you will understandably run into trust issues when purchasing from private persons like myself. I fully understand that. I kinda feel the same way. Many of you simply don't know me, so I'm pretty much a stranger to many of you. Others, on the other hand, have followed my channel for quite some time and know by now how things are going. They know I'm an honest, reliable person. But for those of you having doubts, I'd advise you not to buy from me then. The tension that might come up simply wouldn't be worth it. I know how that feels like, and we aren't exactly talking of cheap products today. Either way, I hope there's someone out there that might be interested in one or two products I have up for sale here. All the money I get in with this will go into my channel. I will be buying more hardware to review with it. Soon you'll finally get to see my Ryzen 3000 tests. Well, it took me long enough due to scarce availability. Big thanks to you guys in advance, and for those that want to buy off me but simply can't, thanks still go out for me. After all, the thought does count too in some way. With that being said, have a great day everyone.